Hey, I'm JT Franco. I'm a 22-year-old e-commerce entrepreneur. And like most guys my age, I really just want to have a good time. Luckily, I'm fortunate enough to live that out at epic levels right now, but it was a very unlikely road for me. At 17, I failed high school, and I failed it hard. I'll show you a picture of one of my report cards. It was like incomplete, incomplete, incomplete. Gerald doesn't do anything. He doesn't show up. He doesn't understand. And it's not that I didn't enjoy learning. It's that I couldn't get the structures, schooling, having someone just tell you what to do and just copying and pasting, essentially memorizing these things that I really didn't care about, right? So I left high school, I dropped out, and when I did that, it was like it was end of the world. Not for me, I was loving it, right? I was staying at home, I was playing games, it was awesome. But for my family, it treated me like, you know, I blew a huge opportunity, like I was a failure, like I was going to, you know, it was gonna be a dark road ahead, and that I needed to really go back and finish high school, and that was the most important thing for a young person to do. And I just couldn't do it. I was like, you know, I'm never going back. I can't do it. I always had big dreams. I always wanted to be like a CEO of some company because I would watch these, you know, the Steve Jobs movies where they show him like having this big idea and then he changed the world and stuff like that. And I always wanted to be like that. And I thought the only way to be a successful entrepreneur was to be a big-time business owner and have a world-changing, you know, idea and get, you know, venture capitalists, get huge investors and have a board of directors and have, you know, go public one day. And I thought that was the big dream for me, but I could never come up with a big idea. So I shelved it, and I worked at like a movie theater, and I worked at, you know, a sales job and whatnot. And then eventually, one day, I came across a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And in that book, I remember I was 17 years old, just after high school, and after working these jobs, and I was sitting there, and I read that line in the book where he says, the only secret to being wealthy is to own assets and not own liabilities. And he said, you have to make your money work for you, right? Make your money work for you. And I remember sitting there and I was so confused. I was like, it can't be that simple, right? It can't be that easy. Like, why isn't everyone doing that? So that's when I kind of changed my mind into, like, that's that easy. And you just need to buy stuff that will give you a return, right? So I started dabbling in other businesses. I dabbled in a catering company, and I wanted to eventually rent out trucks to people so that I could use my trucks. But then I realized there's so much overhead. And it was so hard to start a business with no credit, you know, I was 18 at the time with no credit and no history and whatnot. And it was so hard. And then I found e-commerce. And that's where it all clicked for me, right? This love for learning that I had that was just misplaced in the school system, it was directed perfectly into the e-commerce world and to building funnels and to building, you know, writing sales copy. The one class that I failed was English. That was the class that held me back. I remember all my friends would make fun of me, English 10 failure. And that is where I really love. I love writing. I love creative writing, and writing sales copy was it just clicked, and that was that. And that's when it all changed. And then that's, you know, eventually it all started rolling in and everything got better from there. But the reason I'm traveling right now, the reason I'm going around Asia, it's not because of money. Because eventually I learned that when you get to a certain point, when you're making money, that's not really what it's about. That's not really the end goal, right? So I kind of wanted to find myself, like most guys my age who are like, you know, college, or they take a gap year, whatever it is, and they go backpacking. I wanted to do that, but obviously on a bigger level. And I've been fortunate enough to have that where I can do that. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why this channel is what it is, because I want to take you guys with me. Because sure, I have good businesses and I'm making money, but I haven't figured it all out yet, right? I haven't figured out the big picture, and that's what I kind of want to do and document here. And hopefully you guys will come along for the journey and enjoy the ride with me as I figure it all out. Because I know one thing I know that I really want to do is show people that just because you can't get A's in school, just because, you know, school doesn't work for you, that's not the only measure of intelligence. That's not the only measure of how far you can go in life, because, you know, there's more to it than that. There's more to it than getting an A, getting a good grade, you know, getting a degree. I don't have any of that. right? And I don't think that any of that really matters. So for those of you that are struggling in school, especially the younger, I know there's a lot of younger people watching the channel, for those of you that are struggling, that just don't get it, that feel like you don't belong when everyone else is, you know, doing their homework, and that's just not what you want to do, there's still something more for you out there. There's still a way that you can live out your dreams that doesn't connect to a report card. So hopefully you guys will come along with this, on this journey with me. It's gonna be a great ride. It's been awesome so far. You can actually go back and see where it all started. But that's it. I just wanted to make this video to introduce you to who I am, what I've been through, what my story is, and feel free to share your story in the comments below as well. So that's it. Hopefully you guys stick around. I'm JT Franco. I'll see you around.